Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast. This is episode 77. It is Thursday, December 22nd in 2022. I'm not going to say like 2069 or 58 like Rob does because he's a fucking weirdo. But next to me on my right, I have my heterosexual life mate Rob with some random dude next to him. How's it going, guys?
Pretty
Hey,
good.
what's up?
So we have Lowell here. He's an avid listener of the Fight Like Hell podcast. And he's also decides if I stay employed. So
if this goes horribly wrong, it's all Rob's fault.
And I might lose my job. So this is my boss, Lowell Head. Lowell, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Okay.
We're gonna give you all
Which
the
I'm
dirty
not really.
secrets about Rob. All of the dirty secrets about Rob.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you know them. He knows them. We all know
Does he
them.
though?
I think our guests
Does he
know
really
them
though?
too. Yeah. And then it took only about 30 to 45 minutes to get started. What the fuck is she doing now? Allie is on one tonight. I'm gonna let you.
Allie's a little bit wound up.
We made the mistake of feeding her before the podcast. What the fuck is she doing?
So let's get into the guest summary. So if you wanna tell us like a short and sweet summary of your background, Lowell.
Born and raised in Texas, grew up in San Antonio. Shortly after high school, joined the Army. Traveled around the country. I was never really stationed outside of the country, but did plenty of tours outside of the country. Did my 20 years, retired. Went to work immediately for the federal government right after that, and still employed by the federal government. And
deal with my bullshit on a regular basis.
Pretty much.
That's a good brief summary. We're definitely going to get more into your backstory.
Yeah.
A little bit about you. Austin, you want to do the honors of the...
Why don't you haven't done shit. How about you fucking do something?
Fair enough. My dog is like going crazy over here, but she just ran away. I'm sure she's looking for toys that I just hid. All right, so the Fight Like Hell podcast is brought to you by two different sponsors we have. We're going to flip the script, and we're going to go with PatriotCookies.co first. They are a cookie company out of sunny Florida by our local cookie dealer, the cookie monster himself, Johnny B. Tackfit. If you would like to get some bomb-ass cookies and save 15%, head on over to their website and use the promo code FIGHTLIKEHELL, all one word, and you'll get 15% off your cookie orders. Second promo is Invicta Coffee. Invicta Coffee is coffee that is produced and brewed out here in sunny Arizona. And our friend Spencer owns that company. He does a lot where he gives a small percentage of his stuff to different veteran organizations that help with like PTSD, mental health. And if you would like to save 10% in coffee, you can go over to his website and use the promo code Fight Like Hell, all one word. That is Fight Like Hell, all one word, and you will save a little bit on some fantastic coffee.
Okay, about time you fucking did something. Yeah, so let's jump into weekend adventures. I mean, we discussed this a little bit before, but how was your weekend, Lowell? What'd you do? Did you figure out what you did?
I did not do anything this weekend. I vegged in the house and watched some TV. I don't even remember what I watched though. I think I caught up on some Stranger Things and
you haven't finished Stranger Things yet?
No, I haven't.
So
my ex-girlfriend wasn't a fan of the show, so not something we watched together.
Yeah, but it's a lot harder to finish shows when your other person isn't interested in it.
Yeah.
She has the new toy.
Allie is raping a new toy that Rob got today.
I thought you were supposed to save that for Christmas, Rob.
Yeah, it was supposed to be hidden, but she found it.
I thought that was supposed to be a Christmas present. Okay. Well, Rob tries to wrangle Allie. Yeah, I didn't do shit. I know Rob didn't do shit either. Like I said, I think the three of us just had a fucking low key weekend, didn't do anything. And then Christmas is coming up this weekend. So you got any plans for Christmas, Lowell?
No real plans. I know Rob's coming over to the house on Christmas Day for, we're going to have some non-traditional Christmas dinner.
And what are you
And
making?
What are we doing for dinner?
we are doing
making?
what's I call them flat enchiladas. The real name for them is Santa Fe enchiladas, but made them once for Rob when he had his ankle injury, and he seemed to like them, so thought we'd do it again.
Yeah, enchiladas. You're having a Mexican Christmas?
Dude, I grew up in San Antonio, so
He is Mexican. Look at his skin.
I can,
Yeah.
100%.
Very Mexican.
I mean, that's
my,
fine.
my
And then
nickname
Rob,
my nickname as a kid was Lowrider, so
oh, I mean, there you go.
Uh,
And then Rob's gonna go over there and cause trouble.
No, I'm going over there to referee.
Oh,
yes, my ex still does live in my house because I'm not mean enough to throw her out on the streets.
I mean, she said she
I mean,
would just
that's-
sleep in her car. Like
that's
not-
probably a good thing. I mean, that's the right thing to do, though.
Yeah. But
Not everybody's an asshole like Rob, you know.
I mean, I plan on being engaged and then married and together forever with Amanda. So honestly, the only person that might ever get kicked out of the house is me. So
I mean,
I'm not
that'd
really worried.
I
about
would laugh. So
I'll just come move in with you.
I told you, I'll give you a cardboard box outside, and Allie can come stay inside.
I could see that you doing that for her.
Well, yeah,
Nah.
Allie's more important than you, duh.
Rob's always got a room at my house, so
There we go.
Yeah, I'll just
I'll have
take
to go.
Allie, and then you can go through.
Could you imagine if Amanda moved here and like we got in a disagreement? I got kicked out of my own house. I'm like calling you at like 2 a.m. I'm like, I need a place to sleep.
hey,
I could see that happening.
That's why you're allowed through my do not disturb.
This is true.
Yeah, same here. Rob said on mine too.
Yeah, which can be problematic. Like the mornings I blow up your phone because I want you to wake up.
Well, I mean, if it's our group text, that doesn't count because it's
No,
only
but
your
remember that
personal
one
one.
time you were trying to sleep and I just kept like
That-
sending you
but-
text.
Well, that was our group text with me, you, and Amanda.
But I thought it woke you up.
I did, but I fixed that because I silented that chat.
Oh, that sucks. That's not fun. What did I do for weekends? I did nothing last
Nothing.
weekend. And then you already talked about. Okay, so we talked about weekend adventures. You do nothing. Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, yeah.
For Christmas?
No, just the usual. I mean, opening presents. We're gonna do the standard prime rib, that we do every year. So.
Okay.
Do you make it yourself, or you?
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
pick
yeah.
it
We
up
have
somewhere?
no. We do it ourselves. We have a smoker and a Traeger and everything.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's too expensive.
You hit mute. You hit mute. You hit mute. Oh, Austin has lost his connectivity. Act like you've done a podcast. You're still out.
Nope, still down.
Still down. Well, Austin fixes himself. Nope.
Still down.
Still down. You should contact IT.
It says it's live.
Now you're good.
Now it's good.
Okay, I was like, it says it's up.
It said that you were unmuted, but you weren't talking.
Yeah, I was like, I was talking. Nothing. Okay, anyways, but yeah, no, just standard.
He was
prime
just
rib.
fucking with us, moving his lips like, can.
Yeah, I thought I was maybe having Starlink issues. You know.
No, we will have Starlink issues in a little bit. So that's one of the things that we work on, Starlink here.
Yes.
And how
Never heard
do
of
you
it.
think the service has been as of late?
As of late, it sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Rob was saying it's too crowded.
yeah. I think the constellation, as Elon likes to call it, is getting saturated.
Mm.
And I
I mean,
think all
which is
the
normal when you have 50 million people on it nowadays.
and I think all the satellites around us are still Gen 1, so they don't process as much.
Yeah, because I thought he was supposed to have like another like 40,000 satellites up by like the end of the year, but that never happened.
I think he launched like 10 or 20,000 of those, but I don't know if they went to like cover our area.
Oh yeah, I mean they're just in the sky. I mean they cover wherever.
And now I read he's starting to concentrate on putting out military grade satellites to support our military.
I mean, which would be awesome, but yeah, I don't know. There's 50 million different things he tries to do.
And he runs Twitter.
Yeah, that's going super well.
Yeah.
Well, he has agreed to find a new CEO and step down. So
he said something about giving it to Mr. Beast.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I think Mr. Beast like tweeted him if he could run it, and he tweeted back something like, "We'll see."
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking yeah. Elon just does whatever he wants.
He does.
I mean, he has the money. Who's going to tell him no?
Yeah.
Well, he's missing like 42 billion now or something like that from buying Twitter.
44 billion, I think, is what he paid for Twitter.
Yeah, but yeah, he doesn't give a fuck though.
So the reason why this episode is kind of special is because Lowell is going to be our last guest of 2022. I'm going to go get Allie a bully stick, and you're going to ask him about his backstory, and you guys are going to start talking about that. I'll be back.
Okay, go get your dog. Take care of your dog. Jeez.
Dude, she's losing her mind.
So yeah, we'll get into that. If you want to, let's go over your backstory, Lowell, and where you started, why you joined the military, and how you ended up at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, so why I joined the military, I decided to start having unprotected sex way too young.
That'll do it.
Yeah, junior year in high school, I got married because my girlfriend at the time was pregnant. Between my junior and senior year, had my first son, and so had a kid all through my senior year. I went to school half a day, worked the other half, and then had a family to support after I got out of high school. So had to find something consistent, reliable. So thought, what better than the military? I went and talked to the Air Force first, and just because I lived in San Antonio, there were 5 Air Force bases there at the time, so that's what I knew.
Did they tell you weren't smart enough?
No, they couldn't guarantee me a job, so I was like, yeah, I don't want to, come out of basic training and be told, hey, you're going to be a cook. Not that there's anything wrong with being a cook, but
there is.
Everything's wrong with being a cook.
If you're not infantry, if you're not medical or IT, you fucking suck. You hear me?
And,
all you people.
And Rob's favorite is Cav Scouts.
Yeah, fuck the Cav Scouts. We have Cav Scout listeners.
Yeah. So walked next door to the Army recruiter. They showed me a cool video of something that I would never do, but told me I would be doing it. And
that's how it works with every recruiter.
Yeah,
even to this day.
They hooked me like a big shark and drugged me through deep water and even got me to sign up for a 5-year enlistment for
damn, the first one?
First one, 5 years.
Well, this was back when? This was back in the Stone Ages, right?
1989, yeah.
Yeah, Austin wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't.
Yeah, so they reeled me in with, hey, have you ever thought about jumping out of planes? if you sign up for this 5-year enlistment, we'll give you airborne school. They're going to pay you more money to jump out of planes. I'm supporting a family, so more money sounds good to me. And you get your choice of first duty station. But if you want to keep getting paid to jump out of planes, you got to go to Fort Bragg. Okay, so guess where I went for my first duty station? Fort Bragg. I was there 2 weeks, got deployed to Panama.
You jumped into Panama too.
No, didn't jump into Panama.
Oh man, it would
Wish-
be better.
wish I would
You're
have.
making up shit now, Rob.
Oh, I thought
So-
you jumped in.
So I did jump while I was in Panama, but I didn't jump into Panama for the operation that I went back for 7 days after I came back the first time.
Gotcha.
So the unit I was in did a regular rotation down in Panama just to help out with base security. And we did 4 months, came back home, went back 1 week later for Operation Just Cause. I don't know how many people remember that.
Talk about that mission. Like what
Getting rid of Manuel Noriega, which was, big coke dealer, drug dealer, passing cocaine from Colombia through Panama into the United States. So he was on our watch list. So went back down there and got him out of the country. We shacked up in a high school the whole time we were there, which was pretty cool. Saw a little bit of action, not too much, a couple of pop shots here and there, just because of where we were at. Not a lot of stuff going on. We're basically in the middle of the city, so city of Balboa, which is not really a city, a neighborhood in Panama City. So after that, came back home, and then in August of 1990.
Austin still wasn't born.
Yeah, still not born?
Nope.
Damn.
92, right?
Making me feel really old now.
I think you're our oldest guest.
Oh, that's really fucked up.
Jeez, Rob.
I'm kidding.
Way to be an asshole.
Damn. Yeah, so August of 1990, that's when Desert Shield, Desert Storm kicked off. Being I was still at Fort Bragg. It kicked off August 3rd. We were there August 8th. So stayed there for 8 or 9 months. I don't know. Came back in like May or something like that. Saw some pretty nasty shit while I was there. Not so much action wise. It was more aftermath. Shit that still fucks with your head these days. Stuff that normal people shouldn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did that. Came back home. Found out my ex-wife was cheating on me with some jarhead.
Of course.
Yeah. But young kid in love, I blew it off and said, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll work through it.
Like every fucking guy in the military.
Yep. And like a dumbass, got her pregnant again, and
Of course.
then had a kid that was born the same year as you. Shortly after he was born, Hurricane Andrew hit Rob's home state.
Yeah. Dude, I got evacuated. We're talking about that in the car.
Yeah.
That you were down there working.
Yep. And we got to go do hurricane cleanup. It was actually pretty cool. It was the first time I had been to Florida, so just being down in the Miami area, it was pretty cool.
You're
Doing
free trip to Florida? Why not?
Yeah, and got a humanitarian medal out of it. Hey,
there you go.
More stuff to put on the chest, Back then, everybody was ribbon chasing.
Yeah,
I mean, they still do.
But I mean, that's still within like your first 5 years, and you did a lot. I mean, you went to Panama twice.
Actually, I went another time too, right after.
Okay, so 3 times. Gulf War, before Austin was born. And then finally, when Austin was born,
In Florida.
you went and helped my people.
You went to go help Rob with the
Yeah. Little did he know I'd be working for him one day.
Yeah.
Little like 8 or 10-year-old Rob was out there wandering the streets, angry.
And I don't think I ever mentioned I'm a commo guy, so I'm a radio guy at this point in time.
Carrying heavy ass shit.
Carrying big ass radios.
Back then, they were super heavy
radios. Yeah. And I was a 60 gunner. Oh, by the way, that was before the 240.
I knew what it was, but I've never seen it.
Yeah. We called it the pig.
Did you have to carry 60 or were you on
carry to 60, jump to 60?
Oh shit. With the radio gear?
Jumping a 60 really sucks.
I bet.
Is that like sling loaded below you?
No.
It's on your chest?
You have a M19. Man, I can't remember. I'm old, so I don't remember nomenclature anymore.
You're old.
Well, he remembers every single fucking IP address in the park.
But that's different. He's working,
So you have a weapons carrier, and you don't land with it because landing with it sucks. So you do lower it on
as you get
HVT lowering line.
As you get close to like PLFing? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
You lower that and your Alice Pack rucksack. I did burn in a rucksack one time because when I was being JMPI'd, which is you're being inspected by a jump master, he accidentally tugged on my lowering line and he unclipped it, but it was still caught where it's supposed to be. And when I went to lower my ruck, it burned in.
There goes
with a radio in it.
Oh fuck!
Oh, fun.
How
the commander's radio at that?
How heavy was your pack on average?
50 to 60, just depending on mission size. How many batteries you're carrying for your radio?
Yeah. Did they have like fills back then and stuff? Were you guys able to do that? Like I'm used to
encryption.
Like encryption for your guys.
Still do encryption. Yep.
Would you?
That was back when they did. That was back when they did Morse code, Rob.
I mean, like
possibly. So while you're BSing there, I was in later on in my career, I was in a LURS unit, and we did. My platoon sergeant at the time, he did do Morse code. He had the little thing, you put on your knee, and he'd get in a rhythm, man.
Those people, those guys that can do that fluently, or something else.
Yeah, there weren't very many people that I like really looked up to in the military. You run against some guys that are like, wow, he's a badass, or he's awesome or whatever. But this guy, when he was doing he'd get in his little rhythm with doing Morse code. It was almost like he was playing the drums or playing a guitar or something. He'd get a little beat going and just be tapping on his little.
I've seen videos of guys that like do it, and it's like fascinating because it's unheard of nowadays.
Yeah. And this was mid 90s, so mid 1990s, not 1890s. I
thought it was the 1590s,
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty cool, having that guy as a mentor. I wish I could have learned Morse code, but yeah, it was
applicable in life. Then.
Yeah, it was a dying
not
art.
No more.
Yeah. But
okay, so where'd you go after Florida?
So where'd I end up? So Florida, then did another rotation in Panama, and then came back from that, and it was time to PCS and went to Colorado, Fort Carson. So while I was at Fort Bragg, I was in an MP unit. And then went to Fort Carson. I was in an artillery unit. The job I was in, I could be in any unit. So
Yeah, I mean, comms guys can go anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
what was your best unit?
Best unit was LURS, I think.
Tell everyone what LURS is, just in case they don't know.
Long range surveillance.
It's the recon guys.
Yeah.
And snipers.
You go out.
They suck. They're the worst people.
He's trying to throw snipers in there. We didn't have snipers, so
we had snipers on our LURS team.
Well, because you're you were in like 30 years after him.
We weren't scouts.
Scout team has snipers.
Fuck off. We don't go by scouts. We go by recon.
No, you're
scouts.
Scout team.
Yeah, it's same thing.
He's trying to give the whole entire long range surveillance. We did long range and close range, so
yeah, scouts.
No, not scouts. Unacceptable conversation.
Because you were supposed to go out and not be seen.
Yeah.
And do surveillance.
Scouting.
Yes.
We used to do
sit in your hide site.
Recon by fire.
Sit in your hide site for 3 days. Walk away somewhere else and get extracted.
And then call in the real Calf Scouts and then have them do your job.
No.
Nope. Then you call in artillery and say,
and then I send
this
more
is where you need to go.
You and you're good.
So yeah, Fort Carson, I was at in a artillery unit, and I was on a retrans team.
Which is where you guys like retransmit.
So
signal,
yeah,
right?
you sit
a repeater
kind
basically.
of in between 2 units and use your radios to take the signal from one guy and extend it out to another guy.
Yeah, and they still do that. They just use repeaters nowadays. When they just stick repeaters in places.
That or like we did in LURS. So LURS was actually my next unit after that. So I was in 4th Infantry Division Artillery as a retrans. 4th ID shut down at Fort Carson and moved to Fort Hood. When they did that, everybody that was part of 4th ID had the chance of either staying with that unit or being reassigned to another unit. And I chose to go to Fort Hood, but be reassigned to another unit. I wanted to start jumping out of planes again, so I went to a LURS unit.
Okay, so you went and joined the Scouts.
So, yep, did that. And that's where we moved to. We moved away from the HF radios, or moved into using the HF radios from the VHF, like your, what you guys probably carried, like Sengars or something like that.
Yeah.
And we moved into some old school stuff using HF radios, where we put up crazy looking antennas, built our own antennas. We actually did an exercise one time where we talked from Fort Hood to Fort Benning using a tape measure, like a metal tape measure.
I've seen one of those. Yeah. I've seen people recreate those.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
That's insane.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're just using. I mean, yeah, it's basically just like the long distance antennas.
No, this was an actual tape measure, like Stanley.
Pay attention to the story, Austin. The fuck?
Yeah.
No, you thought he was talking about a real antenna. He's talking about
that you made our tape measure
that you could get at Stone Depot, because it was Stone Ages, and they made like stones into tape measures, and later became Home Depot.
Oh, yeah. Is that where they got their name?
Yeah.
That's insane how far that is to like broadcast a radio signal.
Fort Hood to Fort Benning.
Oh shit.
Texas to Georgia.
Yeah. For our Australian and New Zealand listeners that don't know where those bases are. By the way, we see you guys. We saw that you guys are avid listeners of the podcast. We'll talk about that next episode.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened next?
Yeah, so after Fort Hood, the unit I was in, the LURS unit, they were being shut down. They decided that they didn't need another LURS unit at Fort Hood because there was already one in First Cav, which was a big division at Fort Hood. So reenlisted, got my choice of duty station for reenlisting, and went to Hawaii. And went back to an artillery unit in Hawaii. That unit was actually a lot of fun though, because we actually I got my air assault wings while I was there, so I got to do air assaults and sling loads, and got to watch a couple of not ones that I prepared, but got to watch a couple of guns burn in, being dropped from a helicopter because somebody didn't rig them properly.
That's always a fun time when you have to
It's
explain
actually
what
pretty
happened.
interesting watching a 105 howitzer burn in.
Holy shit!
Mm,
That's big
yeah,
artillery.
That
Well,
is,
that's the
yeah.
little artillery. It's a 105 is a little ones.
Okay, but it's
Oh.
still big.
It's
to
still
us. Like,
yeah.
A howitzer.
he's a mortar
I
man.
think of
I'm a
howitzer.
rifleman. Like to us,
Yeah.
it's big.
I think of howitzer, and I just think of big artillery.
Yeah. But spent 3.5 years in Hawaii. Loved being duty stationed there. The weather was perfect all the time.
Because you like
the price of groceries was ridiculous.
It's actually very similar to where we're at now.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah. Left Hawaii, went back to Fort Hood, went to a signal brigade. And when I got to the signal brigade, I was supposed to be on a retrans team again. I talked to my sergeant major about changing over to computer guy because that was my real passion at the time, computers. She hooked it up where I got a secondary MOS being a computer guy. And so I ran the brigade automation shop. And that's when, when the towers came down and all the shit started with, Afghanistan, Iraq. So right after the towers came down, they were looking for people to go to Afghanistan. I volunteered myself, but I was told no and had to send one of my soldiers. And then right when he got back, everybody started making their way to Iraq. So we did our 15-month deployment to Iraq. And when I got over there, I actually worked for the multinational Corps Iraq, and I supported all the guys with stars on their collars. 5 different countries.
The fun people.
Yeah. I was the automations NCO for 5 different generals from 5 different countries, which was really cool.
Probably stressful.
I actually became an honorary Italian, which was pretty neat.
There you go.
They invited me over to their compound, fed me good food. It was pretty cool. Yep, Iraq, another one of those places where you see some shit that you don't want to see and never want to see again.
Oh yeah, now it's just the beginning.
This was in like the modern war time frame,
Yeah.
like
2004.
2004. Okay.
That's when IEDs were getting bigger and
stronger,
bigger, badder, harder to find. They were really starting to fuck up a lot of our troops.
What type of vehicles were you in?
We did not have up armor anything yet.
So it was the Humvees without like the doors are like the soft skin?
We had some hard skin. In fact, we couldn't get on the streets unless we were in a hard skin.
Okay.
But this is when you're still drilling steel plates on the side of your Humvee. This is before they.
Yeah, before they were up armored.
Yeah.
So what years were you like? What time frame was that?
2004, 2005.
Like when in 2004?
right at the beginning, January 2004. In fact, I flew out of Fort Hood on December 31st of 2003.
I was in country at that time. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Where were you? Like, what cities?
Baghdad.
Baghdad?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you come up through Kuwait?
Yep. So we went to, what was it called?
Route Tampa?
Well, Route Tampa, but I'm trying to remember the name of the little camp that we stopped at before, to do all your, pre.
Oh, in Kuwait?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. And most like pogues that didn't like deploy into like a combat
They stayed
zone,
there.
They stayed there and
Yeah.
got McDonald's and
Yeah.
coffee and all that good shit. We just don't remember the name of it because we're only there for like a couple weeks or a month to get your shit.
2 weeks we were there.
Yeah, and then
Kuwait isn't a real deployment.
just doing your initial training, some live fire training and stuff like that, just getting you ready to be on that road driving up to wherever you're going to in Iraq. So
yeah.
And then of course, while in Iraq, although I was based out of Baghdad area, Camp Victory,
yeah,
did little shots here and there, just supporting our people out to other little cities. Worst one going to was Fallujah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everybody knows the
the
crap that happened there. Luckily, I wasn't there for the big battles, but it's still not a fun place to be.
Yeah.
Actually, some of the worst shit I saw though was at Camp Victory, seeing mortars or rockets coming in from outside the compound.
Oh yeah.
And hitting somebody's trailer or tent or whatever they were happen to be sleeping in. And yeah.
Well, back then was there did you guys have bunkers back then?
No bunkers, just sandbags
and like connexes, right?
Not even connexes, just sandbags around I stayed in a little trailer with it's probably about the size of this room, a little bit smaller than this room.
Mm-hmm.
Little trailer, but I mean they were like paper thin. So
yeah, you just when you hear it, you just pray it doesn't hit you.
Yeah. So
how long did you spend in Iraq?
So there for 15 months. Because I was moved away from my primary unit into the Corps, I got to hang out in country a little bit longer than my primary unit.
Did you want that?
At the time, kind of, because I was in kind of a fucked up marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So going home wasn't
the best option.
I don't want to deal with that when I get home.
And this was my second marriage, by the way. I divorced the first cheater.
Yep.
And
bitch be gone.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's how it happened one morning when she had been out all night and came back in the morning. I had to call out from PT saying, hey, I got kids at home and I have no wife at home to take care of them. And then we don't have babysitters set up. So,
yeah.
And that happened multiple times. So one morning she came home and I said, you know what? I'm done. You got to go.
Yeah, because you can only call in so many times before command gets mad at you.
Yeah.
It's like, stop calling in. I don't care if you have kids. You have a contract. You need to be here.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's especially back then. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so after my second tour at Fort Hood, I went to great state of Alaska and went back to an airborne unit up there and started jumping out of planes again, which I really loved. Although it was starting to take more of a toll on my body because,
Yeah.
getting up there in years now.
And it's not service connected whatsoever, but continue.
Yeah. So went back to an infantry unit. I started off in an infantry battalion with the 3rd of the 509th. If you've ever been to Fort Polk, Louisiana, you might know the 1st of the 509th. They're the Op 4 there.
Fuck Fort Polk. Can we say it together now? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
No.
Fuck Fort Polk.
No idea.
What the fuck, Austin? That is the worst place.
Did you never go to JRTC?
No.
Damn.
He jerked off a lot in the military.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I mean, isn't that what it was for?
Did you ever make it to NTC?
No.
How about you, Rob? Do you ever make it to NTC?
Course. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Allie.
I never. You know what's fun is I never did an actual mission at NTC, but I was cadre there.
Okay, so what'd you do in Alaska?
So, started off as a battalion commo chief. So back to my radio roots, but more on the supervision and guidance side of the plate, and then moved up to the brigade commo chief about a year before I retired. And I like to call that I was the senior communications advisor for the brigade. And then that's where I retired from.
Alaska.
Retired in Alaska.
What year was that?
In 2009 is when my actual retirement took place. But I stopped actually working for the military side of the Army in November of 2008. Well, October of 2008. Took a month off, and then I moved from one chair in an office to a chair across the office as a civilian.
Doing what for your first job for the government?
So my first job, I was a systems administrator for the Alaska land mobile radio system. So that's the radios that like cops use and
the land network.
Yeah. So I was a systems administrator for the entire Army's land mobile radio system in Alaska. So we had 27 towers that repeated across the state, some in some very remote locations.
Well, it's Alaska.
Yeah.
Small state.
Yeah. Tiny.
And we had some joint towers that we used with the Air Force, some that we used with the state because they all use the same system. And then I moved from that job. A friend of mine knew another guy that worked on Fort Richardson that was looking for somebody to become their security specialist, and recommended me. And he hit me up and said, "Hey, you want a job? It has promotion potential." And I was like, "Sure." So went to work for him, and that was in September of 2009. And then in October of 2010, we became a joint base, and the unit that I was working in was taken over by the Air Force. So I became an Air Force employee. And I was an Air Force employee for 10 years. My now ex-wife and I were having some little bit of issues, and she thought getting out of Alaska would solve the problems. it didn't. She found a job down here at the Grand Canyon,
Never heard of it.
and
A big hole in the ground.
yeah, so she found a job down here, and during her job interview, her soon-to-be boss said, "Hey, I want you for this job. What would keep you from coming?" And she said, "Well, if my husband can't come, then I can't come."
Right.
And she said, "Okay, what does he do?" And said, "He's an IT guy." Well, just so happens we have IT positions open.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a direct hire and pulled me down as well. And here I am now.
And you've been stuck there ever since.
And now I'm stuck with Rob.
Well, I was going to say, you end up eventually getting promoted to the chief of IT, and then you pulled me over for your old
job.
Yeah. Which I don't do it as good as you do it. Like,
and then he's going to retire, and then you're going to take his job, Rob.
That would be a terrible idea for the National Park Service. Hopefully they don't listen to this podcast, because I would take the promotion for the money, but I don't think I could do what Lowell does, because when he's out for 2 or 3 weeks, it's absolute
chaos,
panic. I'm calling Lowell, even though he's on leave, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. You got to do this. I've already told you this. Or I'm calling Austin. I'm like, this fucking sucks. Why is he on vacation for so long?
He does that a couple times.
Well, like I tell everybody, I am kind of married to my job now. And
I would say that.
even when I go on vacation, I still take my laptop with me. I take things for Justin. That guy Justin, he's always popping up, so just in case.
Oh my god! I thought it was like a fucking.
I was like, "Who's Justin?"
Memory, like for someone that you lost in combat. I was like, that's fucking cool. I didn't know that about you, even though I know a lot about you. And they were like, just in case.
So y'all are going to use that now.
Yeah. No, I'm probably not, because I'll probably forget.
He will. He forgets everything.
I occasionally forget stuff.
No, never.
You occasionally remember things.
That's
at the last minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was due today.
Yeah. Then he calls. Then he tells me, "Oh yeah, I had a super hectic day because this was supposed to be done."
Rob replied to an email today that I sent him in July.
Oh my god. I accidentally did that to 2 or 3 emails because, all right, so low-key story, I had 1,700 emails, and
he never looked at any of them.
I didn't look at a lot of them. Apparently,
and that's why he's in the situation
because I was priding myself on, hey, at least I'm replying to the things that are important, like from
July.
And it's funny that he says that, because I got my inbox down to like 198 in the past couple of days. Because the reason why the 1,700 is an important number and is relevant to the story is there was 2 emails I missed that involved my PCS out here. Yeah. And because I missed these 2 emails and I didn't file tax information, right?
Yeah.
With National Park Services for relocating. Now I owe like $4,700 back to the government
because you don't check your fucking email.
It was 2 emails.
It was an initial email, and then a reminder, final notice.
Yeah. So
if you don't do this, we're going to take money from you.
And I didn't notice it.
And he learned his lesson to check his email now.
Yeah, but fast forward to today, I've been cleaning up my email box and organizing every single email. That email was right next to today's email. Like one email above it was today's email, and I had just gotten another email or something like that, and I got it confused thinking it was from the bracket of today. So I was like, shit, Lowell's asking something. I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely look into that and look into leadership courses for that, because
And it
you
was
were
from July.
replying to an email from July that I had originally emailed you about, and you had told me what to do, and I apparently didn't read that reply email. But I'm in.
That's okay. I'm used to being ignored by Rob.
That's not true. If you hit me up on Teams, I
On
usually
Teams,
reply.
put a ticket in for it.
I mean, I get busy being the network
okay.
manager. Do you remember your job?
Dude, you get busy checking Instagram.
You don't get that many Instagram reels while you're working because I'm working. Keep your mouth shut, Austin. I know what you want to say. He's like, I'm gonna fucking tell him.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Rob's the best employee ever.
Thank you. See, like if I reach out to you, isn't it about work? I'm like, I'm stressed out. Like it's
yeah,
work.
yeah.
Like,
what happened when you called me because you wanted the conference room set up? Who'd you call because you wanted to research that?
oh yeah, when I gave my work to him.
Oh, I know.
He's like, why the fuck is Austin?
He actually gave you props though, Austin.
I gave you credit. I 100%.
You're like, he's doing this for me because I'm too busy. He's like,
Yeah, no,
So
go ahead.
So Rob couldn't find the answer he needed on Instagram, so he reached out to Austin.
That's 90% of how it works.
We're trying to set up a new conference room that might be the template conference room for multiple conference rooms around the park and different locations that we cover. And I had done a little bit of research. Amir had done a little bit of research.
AKA 5 minutes.
No, we spent about half a day working on it. And we both were coming up with like stupid little cameras and nothing outstanding. And I turned to Amir and I'm like, we got to finish. Like, we're working on something else. And I was like, dude, like, I need to get this other stuff done. You know who's really good at research? And it's my fucking like Google Assist, Austin. I'm like, we should see if Austin will figure this out for us. And sure shit, like within like by that evening, he had written up like the top 3 things that we should do and like what we should do if it's just a camera, if we're trying to do the whole conference room, if we need something with speakers, if we need this, if we need projection, non-projection, if we wanted to look at it as TV. I was like, this is all perfect. And as I copy and pasted it over, I was like, I will feel like the biggest piece of shit if I don't give credit to my best friend. At the same time, I was like, Lowell's going to be pissed because he's paying me to do this. And I'm dishing my work off on my best friend to like, so yeah.
As long as Austin doesn't bill us for his time, I think we'll be okay.
No, he doesn't.
No, I just bill Rob.
Yeah, no, I can't pay him because SOS is like going out of
He's
business.
like, I don't have no money. I'm broke. I
have no
I
money.
impulse buy everything.
I bought expensive ring for future wife to keep her on hook, and I forgot to check emails. Now I'm like a lot of money in debt.
Yeah. Check your
Not
emails,
come
Rob.
home for Christmas. I am stuck in the canyon. I need Amanda to move here and help me before I end up on the streets.
You're just be stuck with Lowell.
Like I said, you always got a room at my house.
I know.
You can just kick out the ex-girlfriend and then Rob will move in.
Yeah. Wednesday, we got a date.
Oh,
Bravo golf. Bitch be gone. Oh, so all right, here we go. Let's talk about my mom and what she said about the situation. Can we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Lowell's in a fucked up situation. Lowell's like my big brother. He's also my boss, but he's more of like a brother to me, and I give a shit about him.
I would say he's more like your dad. I mean, he's old enough.
No, he
almost. My oldest son is only 5 years younger than him, so
yeah. But I mean, like, you're 52, I'm 40, so like it's a 12-year difference. So I look at him more as an older brother than like a dad-like figure.
Rob just acts like he's 15.
I just wait, like 50 or
15.
15. Yes, correct. Very correct. No, but Lowell wanted advice about his situation. It's a fucked up situation on her part, not his part. We won't go into the great details on that, but it's fucked up to the point where she needs to leave. Like, she needs to go. She's a nice person. She's a good human, but she doesn't belong with my big brother. But it's the middle of winter and she has no place to go. So Lowell's trying to do the kind-hearted thing of giving her a place until she finds a new job and is able to like move out, and like you're being the bigger person about like a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
So history has kind of repeated itself with this woman and Lowell, and she keeps like redoing things that are fucked up. And my parents know about it because one of the time frames was around the time I broke my ankle, and my dad was staying out here, and I told my dad all about it, and he told my mom about it. Everyone in my family cares about Lowell a lot because he's helped me so much. Like, part of the reason why I want him on the podcast and like I don't want to get emotional about it is because like work sometimes is work, and like your day ends and you don't really talk to your coworkers after work, whereas like Lowell has helped me with my dog.
Well, especially when you broke your ankle. Well, yeah, well, especially when you broke your ankle, Rob. Like, he was there every day. I mean, he's the one that took you to surgery.
I was at the hospital today checking on a friend who got admitted there, and like I was like, oh my god, the last time I was here, like Lowell took me to my surgery. And I mean, to me, Lowell means like you mean everything to me, man. Like you're very important to me. And my family knows that because I speak so fucking highly of you, because it's not even that you're just like you're beyond like a boss that delegates. You're a boss that fucking leads and like sets examples, shows people how shit should be done. You don't just dish off your fucking work and make your minions do it, because you have plenty of us to do your stuff. Like you either teach or you get shit done. And on top of that, like you've been like a brother to me and like Allie and to my family. So with all that in mind, and sorry I'm like crying about it, I told my mom what happened because Lowell wanted an opinion on it.
I wanted somebody else's perspective that has
no
dog in the fight.
Exactly. Right. My mom never curses. I think my mom cursed like 6 or 7 times. I'm pretty sure she had a little bit of wine on board, but she's like, that bitch needs to be gone. And like, we don't think that his ex is a bitch, and my mom doesn't think that either, like as a person. But the situation was fucked up to the point where she's an adult. She needs to figure her shit out. If she doesn't want to be respectful of Lowell's house because she was doing disrespectful things even during the breakup, she needs to go. And it's funny because my dad was actually the voice of reason. And it was like trying to calm down my mom and saying like, hey, like, Lowell said she could stay there through the holidays and like she'll find a place after that. He's just trying to be a good man and not force her out.
Kick her out when it's freezing outside.
Yeah,
and part of the holidays thing is she has kids that live away. There's one that lives in Utah, one that lives in California, and one that lives in Flagstaff with her ex. And so she doesn't get to see him very often. And we had planned having her kids out to the house and to spend Christmas. If I would have kicked her out, she would have had no place to host her kids. And I don't want to do that. I'm not that fucked up that I don't want people to see their kids. I'd love to have my kids around, but mine are kind of spread out all over the country as well, and have their own families things going on.
Right.
So I was like, yeah,
you got Rob.
I was like, yeah, hang out here. Still bring your kids out. We'll still do, Christmas at the house and try to make it civil.
Yeah.
That's why Rob says he's coming to be a referee.
Pretty much. I mean,
Rob's
they
gonna be
can keep
Rob's gonna be the
specific,
drunkest one of them all. What are you talking about?
probably more likely.
I know how you work, Rob.
So go ahead with your finish your mom's story with her cussing and
Oh yeah, my
Your
mom's
dad.
like that bitch needs to go, and like, I'm sorry, and I shouldn't say this, and please don't repeat this, but like in my opinion, she has overstepped boundaries because even during the breakup, she's done a couple things that have been super disrespectful in his house while he's putting a roof over her head.
Right.
So myself and my family and Amanda are all like, that chick needs to fucking go.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's like, hey, like, we just need to stick this out. And then, like, you're recently single. So, like,
Single and ready to mingle.
yeah, yep. And, I mean, you did meet someone?
yeah, somebody that tried to hit me up a while back on one of the dating apps.
Yeah.
And
Do you use
because
Tinder over there?
well, so I
No, they use the
uninstalled
older ones, like Match or
Match, yeah.
Like farmers only.
something. Farmers on.
But so when I got together with my ex-girlfriend, I just uninstalled apps. I never use these things. I've been married since I was in high school.
Had like 3 relationships, essentially.
Well,
I feel that
if
I've
you
never
count this last one, yes, 3.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
used Tinder in my
total.
life, so it's okay.
So I just uninstalled the app, so I was still active on them, I guess, just not literally active.
Right.
So somebody tried to hit me up, sometime during the summer. I didn't know it because I didn't have the apps installed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I broke up, I put the apps back on, and somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, I tried to message you way back when," and blah blah blah. So we started talking, still talking. We haven't met in person yet. So
Is she in Arizona?
she is in Arizona.
That's
In
good.
Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not like Rob where he finds some chick in Texas.
Yeah.
She found me.
Oh.
I slid into her DMs, but she didn't
Yeah.
find me.
Oh.
So with this new one, it could be total disaster, or it
Oh
could
yeah.
be
You never know.
the start of something new. Don't know.
And
Just
if
don't introduce her to Rob and you'll be good.
it doesn't work out, girls who listen to the cast, they're like,
Pretty sure we all have younger
30,
people.
36 or older, or like 40 or older, because I don't know if that upset Amanda. Girls who are a little bit older and adults and can't be Lowell's kids' age, older than his kids, slide into Lowell's DMs. What's your Instagram handle? We got to add that, by the way.
It is Lowell, LOWELL _ head, HEAD.
It's just his name.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's pretty simple.
Add his handle there.
It's gonna fuck it up. I'll just do it in the show notes because it's gonna fuck up next time too.
Oh, yeah, and then I'll leave it on there like I did that one time.
Yeah, so just leave it.
Okay.
You can leave me tagged all the time. That's cool.
We'll tag you. We'll definitely tag you in the show. But on a serious note, like any of our listeners, like if you like what you see, you should slide. And
he makes more money than Rob.
He does make. I make good money. Lowell makes better.
You do. But...
like I don't have that much money because I spent my money poorly. Well, I invested.
That's just your life decisions every day.
Yeah, but yeah. So you guys should slide into Lowell's DMs. So there's an area if they're not like friends with you, it's like unread messages.
Yes, because my account is private.
Oh shit! They won't be able to message you.
Yeah, it says requests. I get them all the time.
You can get them still, even private.
Yeah, he gets girls signing into his DMs all the time. He says.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there's always chicks from Russia trying to slide
daddy
in there.
Yeah. You can just go buy mail order bride. Why not?
I'm sorry. there are always female people trying to slide in
Listen,
that are from other countries.
not everyone's going to be offended that you said chicks.
Yeah,
I know.
Rob is. Rob's super offended.
Not offended at all.
You're trying to like put me out there, and then I'm
Oh, you're trying to
Failing.
correct yourself
Failing
in case
miserably.
any females are listening.
yeah.
They're chicks.
Fuck being politically correct.
Yeah, exactly what Austin said. But like one story I want to bring up on the podcast that I think is interesting about like how we first started talking after you offered me the job. I'm pretty sure that like right after you offered me the job, within the first 12 hours, I called you and basically tried to talk you into demoting me and moving me to Flagstaff.
Oh, I
because
remember
I
that.
was scared about living at the Grand Canyon. And
I remember that.
do you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
And what did you
Well, so this is before you actually
came on board? This
Mm-hmm.
was like you offered me the job.
Yeah, and you're like, first of all, my mom's kind of worried that I'm never going to meet someone.
Yeah, that was a concern.
He was worried
I'm
about
like-
that too. He told me that multiple times.
I'm like, nah, dude, you're good. There are women around this area. If you want to meet them, they're here. You're of that age where you can probably meet somebody.
He's like,
But
there's
for
no
the
hot chicks
record,
in
the women that are
Flagstaff.
here are worthless.
Yeah,
They're not as
pretty
good
much.
as the Texas girl. Continue your story. I had to add that caveat in case Amanda's listening.
So yeah, so Rob was a little concerned that coming out here in the middle of nowhere,
Kind of like Wyoming.
that he was going to be single forever.
Mm-hmm.
I
wouldn't have
assured
any
him
friends.
that was not the case. It's a good looking dude. We're not that far away from Flagstaff anyway.
Or
Hour-
Texas,
Hour and
apparently.
a half. But it just so happens he met somebody better.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Because I met the girl that was a mile away and she couldn't even go on dates.
That
with me
shit
yet.
went downhill fast.
Yeah. Whereas Amanda was like, I'll go on a fucking date with you, even though I live 3 or 2 states away. I can't do math.
It's 2.
It's 2. Well, it's the 3rd state if you count it as the state.
Rob, just shut up.
No, it's still 2. All right.
Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. So
Oklahoma touches somewhere.
you
don't go through Oklahoma though.
It's okay.
Louisiana.
Geography is not your strong point. I got that.
I've been places. I've seen things.
Have you? You forgot a lot of things too.
Yep. Okay, so
Yeah. So
because I was like, I need to move to Flag. Like, I think like you should demote me.
yeah. So had to talk him into reassure him that everything was going to be all right.
I had to tell you I had a service dog. I had to tell you that I had a lined up job with a 3-letter agency and I might bail on you. And then like the first 2 or 3 weeks I was there, that 3-letter agency.
Yeah.
Reached
out.
Yeah. Can you confirm that? Because like
Yeah.
I tell the listeners about that. He will confirm that there was a massive 3-letter agency that I don't know.
They reached out, but we already had our hooks in them, so we already had the family thing going on.
Yeah,
because we're a family out here. We have to be. We have to take care of each other.
That was definitely one of the things I noticed immediately coming out here, because you basically told me that if come out, do 30 to 60 days, you can relocate me if I didn't like it in Flag. Because I was concerned that the grocery store, everything's far away. Hockey's far away. Am I going to have a social life? Am I going to like it at the Grand Canyon itself? And they're like, come out for 30, 60 days. If you don't like it,
we can do a change of duty station.
Yep. And you can move out to Flagstaff, which after looking at our new employees' rent, I am glad I don't live in Flagstaff, because Flagstaff for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 900 square foot is $2,300.
Jesus.
And
Wow.
it is not as nice as like Amanda's place.
You pay less than that, like half that.
Way less than half that. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, like a little bit more, like 60% less than that for a
Yeah.
3-bedroom, 2-bath, and a garage and fenced in backyard in comparison to being at a fucking
in an
apartment.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I was glad I stayed, and it definitely has worked out where, especially over time, you and I have gone on the road so many times together now at this point to like do Starlink services, to go to North Rim.
Yeah, North Rim Adventures.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, we've gone out there a few times, and it's always, there's either people that like you can ride in a car with or you can't. And at least from my perspective, like, I can definitely go on a 3 or 5 hour car ride with you and either bullshit with you a majority of the time, or listen to podcasts, listen to music. Like, it's fine. I mean, we just went to Vegas a couple weekends ago.
2 weekends.
Yeah, I went to UFC.
UFC.
Yeah, how was that, Lowell?
It was fun. It was first experience with live UFC. I've been watching UFC since the very first one. I can remember I was at over at a friend's apartment in Colorado Springs when I was stationed in Fort Carson when UFC 1 came out. First pay-per-view, and it was like, I don't know, $25 back then. But been watching it ever since the first one. So being able to experience it live, even though the fights weren't spectacular, the judging was shit.
I feel like it was just the main card that lacked.
Yeah, the atmosphere is really cool. Being there live, and seeing the fans get excited, get amped up when the judging sucks, and the fans bantering back and forth because they have their favorite fighter and they think it was pretty cool. And won't say that Rob and I might have broken the rules and went to
we already talked about that.
We weren't supposed to be in.
Fuck it, talk about it. Just
we already talked about it.
As long as we don't put a UFC fight on this YouTube channel,
right,
our podcast won't get demonetized or taken down. But if we stream the fight, like if we put like clips of the fight, we'll get the episode removed. But you can tell them what we secretly did.
Well, we might have just walked down to some other seats that were open for the entire card. So
yeah,
how did they stay open, though, is the question.
If we kept saying that we were going to buy,
we were
the
thinking
seats,
about buying them.
Yeah,
we were thinking about purchasing them.
So we kept going into the app to buy the seats, and then realized that we didn't want to spend $1,000 on the seats that we were sitting in.
Yeah, and I couldn't find my credit card that one time.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's the reason.
And I brought the wrong card with me, so
his billing address had recently changed, and he had it updated, so like it gave an error message.
Excuses.
Yeah.
And I just got that new card, and I hadn't activated it yet.
Yeah. So, but it was a cool experience.
It was,
and it was the first time. Like, shout out Vet-Tix. It was the first time they ever actually gave away an actual
it's the first
fight.
time. Yeah, usually they do watch parties, but Vet-Tix, they hooked it up with. I think UFC actually provided the tickets, but
that's what it said it was from.
But Vet-Tix, put them out there for the fans, which is really cool. I think they had a total of right around 1,300 tickets that they provided, which was awesome.
Yeah,
that's a lot of tickets.
I mean, but think of how many people normally go to a UFC fight.
Well, how many?
So I think 14,000 fits in the T-Mobile Center, 14 or 16,000. and I'd say they were probably 98% sold out.
20,000.
Yeah, but you have to look for like UFC because it all depends on the stage.
Yeah.
20,000.
Oh, yeah, 20,000.
You would think it would be that because it's one of the few sports that you can use the lower ground.
Ground,
so
seating around it.
couple weeks before UFC, I went to see Joe Coy in the same place, and
It was center stage.
No, he was in end stage.
So that's 12 to 18.
And he said he sold out 14,000. So
okay,
he was the first comedian to do T-Mobile Arena and sold it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys get along pretty well. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Rob says I'm his big brother. Same. I feel the same.
I'm your big brother.
He's like my little brother. I didn't have a little brother growing up. I have a big brother.
Pain in the ass, little brother.
But
I do ask for shit constantly. I don't understand this. How does this work? I've already showed you this. I don't know if I have notes on it. You do have notes on it. Okay.
Yeah, I have to tell him where his notes are.
Yeah, he forgets or loses everything. It's okay.
There was a war on terrorism. I was involved in it.
Never heard of it. Never. What war? That was all make believe. That was like the moon landing.
Yeah, moon landing.
Well, what's funny is you got your TBI ratings.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I hit my head jumping out of airplanes
and fucked up your knees and ankles.
Yeah, and hitting the ground very hard.
It's not service connected.
No.
Jumping out of planes isn't service connected.
That's the most retarded shit ever.
Yeah.
Like literally airborne for
the ground.
How many years of your career were you airborne?
5, 7, 12. 13 years.
Do you have any idea how many jumps you have?
75 recorded.
75 recorded. Okay.
Because I was a master parachutist, so
that's a lot of times fucking PLFing. What's PLF stand for again?
Parachute landing fall.
Okay. Yeah, that's like when you basically meet gravity into the ground.
When you're 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack.
Yeah.
Okay.
It only hurts after the first 70,
Look at her. She's being so good now. But don't say her name.
Yeah, she was a terrorizer at the beginning of the episode.
I mean, possibly. And that's the other thing too. Like I was telling someone recently about it, and it might even been Lowell. Like he's one of the few people that like I can trust. Like obviously Amanda can spend time with her. But like I can leave Allie. Fuck, I shouldn't have said her name. I can leave her with him, and she listens to you.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah, she does. She does fine.
Yeah,
and it's been good. And then you got your two little.
And like me, I leave Haiku and Shallow in your capable hands.
Or on crutches falling down in your driveway during a power outage.
Or breaking your shelf.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. So wasn't that all the same night?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the night of the power outage.
So there was a power outage. I was on crutches. It was raining out and it was shitty out. And Lowell's house was buttoned up. Like all the windows were closed. There was a power outage. I started freaking out and I was like, I need to go over there because I wanted to open up your windows. That way that the dogs had some sort of circulation of air because Lowell was out of town. I think you're in Alaska.
Probably in Alaska.
So I go over there and I start off by like hopping my way through your driveway because I was being lazy and didn't want to use my crutches.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking fell.
Oh, no.
No. Wait, did it happen? Either way, I fell in his driveway. I fell in his driveway either leaving his house or going into his house. I scraped up my knee.
Scraped his knee. Probably
the
still has a
point.
scar.
Still have the scar. Is there a scar?
Yeah.
There's a scar there. I have scraped my knee hundreds of times as a kid. I do not have any of those scars. That one, I fell so fucking hard.
And on the asphalt.
And on the asphalt, and fell on my ankle that had surgery on it and was in immense pain. I'm pretty sure I did that leaving your house after the wind. So like I was closing his door. You know how like if you leave open a door or two, it like sucks
It could draft
the door closed. So I'm hopping out the door and I go to close his door at the normal rate that I normally close that. But because it was like a fucking suction cup, it just grabbed the door and fucking slammed it. And everything on his fucking shelf just fell down and shattered everywhere. And I was thinking like, motherfucker, it's pitch black. I can't clean this up right now. I think Amir was supposed to come over in the morning and check on it. So like I had to group text everyone. And I'm group texting them that like, yeah, I broke your shelf and shit fell everywhere, but I also fell in your driveway and like I scraped up my knee. I sent like a picture. There's like blood like rolling down my leg, and yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and I was pretty sure you were mad at me about it.
I wasn't because you didn't break any of my shit. You broke some of my ex-girlfriend shit.
See, I preemptively knew that that bitch. Let's break her stuff.
Yeah, she was a little upset.
Man,
but I was like.
What
are you going to do? The freaking wind through the door closed. Yeah.
It was all Rob's fault.
You didn't really reply that much. And I got really worried. And I'm pretty sure I called Amanda and Austin upset.
I was in Alaska camping out in the middle of nowhere.
I didn't know this at the time. So the whole entire time I was like, fuck, I really pissed them off. And I even said, like, I'll replace and buy everything. And like, I felt terrible because like it was not intentional. And then my knees all
Lowell's not responding.
And he's not responding. And I was telling Austin, like, he's not responding. And I'm like, every time, and it was my knee that isn't my leg that I was using to hop around. Well, it's the leg that I'm hopping around on. So that one's got full mobility. And every time I would move it, like it would just split the fucking thing open. So I would constantly like bleed out of that leg for the next like week or two. And every time I look at that knee, I remember the time.
Yeah. Actually, you did break one of my things.
What was it?
My little shallow replica.
What?
The little wiener dog replica that.
Oh no.
Little ceramic thing.
Yeah, geez, Rob.
Not intentional.
That's cool.
I was just trying to break all her shit.
You were helping me out anyway, so
yeah,
saving me lots of money for a doggy daycare.
Yeah. Kingsmark can be expensive, but shout out Kingsmark because they're cool as fuck and they take really good care of Allie.
Allie even does some IT work there.
Yes, she does.
Dude, that was
glasses and everything.
Fucking funniest picture ever.
Yeah,
that was the best photos ever.
I think that's the best picture that they've had the most interaction with too. Like,
it was hilarious.
They have over 1,000 followers, but no one likes any of their stuff. Like they'll like one or two pictures.
Yeah.
And then that one I think got like 40 or 50 likes and a bunch of comments on it. It was super cute. And they have no idea that I do IT for a living, so I thought that was even funny.
Oh, they didn't even know that?
No, they didn't.
I figured they knew that. That's why they did it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe they do know.
I'm pretty sure they probably know. They probably know. They probably know.
I do say that I work at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
They were super cool though. Like during the time when my ankle was broke and I was either in a boot or not in a boot.
They come out and help.
Every time they saw the car pull up or the government vehicle pull up, they knew either vehicle and they would come out with a leash to get ALY and bring her inside.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And then we got a new guy who we'll keep him anonymous for now in case he doesn't want his name blasted on this. But he has a dog that has like the equivalent of like cerebral palsy or
is it cerebral palsy or multiple sclerosis? MS.
He's got like MS, but the dog version, and it's called something different. He was telling me today, along with a couple other stories, that he takes him there every day, and they help out quite a bit. Yeah, so it's
good people.
Cool. Yeah, they're great people over there. Like I love that place. As a matter of fact, this weekend I want to like order them a fucking pizza or something like that for the whole entire staff or something.
Wait, are they working on Christmas?
Yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah, because they have dogs, I guess. They have boarded dogs because
they
work
have
on
boarded
holidays.
dogs. So they'll run doggy daycare. They're gonna run it the exact way they always do. So that means they have a bunch of like 16 to 24-year-olds working and stuff. And
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, and then
well, yeah, I mean, people's dogs are boarded; they have to work.
Yeah. Did you see any of the stuff on Thanksgiving, like what they did? They had like
they do like Thanksgiving dinner, like buffet for the dogs.
Yeah, it was like a full on like buffet, all stuff that like dogs could eat. Like you picked your preference. So like I'm assuming they're gonna do it again for Christmas, and it was like turkey and rice or chicken and rice, and it just like massive fucking plates of it, and whatever your dog's like allergy preference was or choice, they got that for dinner, and it was super cool.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, they sound like good people.
They are.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to discuss about Lowell's backstory?
I mean, it's not his bedtime yet.
No, not even close.
Not even close. All right, pour a drink. Let's get into the deep part of this podcast.
I was like, I thought we already did that.
But is there anything else that you want to talk about before we get into ATI, or
no?
Before we ask you some super fucked up questions.
So I'm like most veterans that suffer from the typical shit from seeing that you see in country. I will tell you that I held back on reporting my type of stuff because I was always afraid I was going to lose my security clearance because I did hold up high security clearance when I first became a civilian. I was always worried that they're going to look in and see that I had mental issues and rip my clearance from me, and then I wouldn't have a job. So once I came here and didn't have to have this super high security clearance, I decided it was time to start getting help with my issues, and started seeing a therapist, and super glad I did. It's helping a lot. Been seeing a therapist for a couple of years now. Because I did go through some, even when I first got here, before I started seeing the therapist, went through some kind of dark times, walking on the rim and thinking, if I just went off the edge of the rim right now, make everything better. But I look back on it now and I know that it won't make it better. It wouldn't have made it better. It would have made it worse for
your kids,
my kids,
us,
my parents,
us,
anybody that cares about me.
All of us.
Rob wouldn't have been there. Rob wouldn't be there today.
Yeah. So, if any of your listeners are not, actively seeking help for any issues they may be having, I recommend it. It's helped me a lot.
Yeah. And you actually stole what I was thinking about saying. And, there are listeners that do have PTSD. There are listeners who have scenarios where they feel like they can't share what they've been through, or they're hurting really bad and they don't want to be, as we talked about in the last podcast, Austin brought up multiple times, a burden to other people. But the way you get through a lot of these things, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, is you have to reach out for help.
Yeah. So talk it out with somebody. If you don't want to have that, everybody says some kind of stigma that you're seeing as a therapist. Seeing a therapist isn't a bad thing, first of all. So anybody that tells you, oh, you're fucked up for just handle your shit.
We're all fucked up.
Yeah, you don't have to go see a therapist. Bullshit. Go see one.
Yeah.
There's plenty of programs out there that can help you. Use them.
Yeah.
And if you, like I said, if you don't want that stigma, I'm throwing up the air quotes. Talk to a friend. Talk to somebody.
Yeah, you can't do it alone.
Don't keep that shit inside and try to do it alone, because at some point it's going to overwhelm you, and nobody that cares about you wants to see that happen.
Yeah.
And even if you think somebody doesn't care about you, I guarantee you there's somebody that cares about you.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, you think no one cares about you until you do something like that, and then everybody and their mom shows up because they did, they say, I wish you would have called me, or I wish, I wish this, I wish that, because people actually do care, even if you don't think they do.
Yeah.
And to those that have friends that maybe you think they're okay, reach out to them, make sure they're okay,
especially during the holidays.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at I don't know how much your listeners see the news and stuff like that. This guy Twitch, he's
Twitch.
been in the news lately.
Yep. From the Ellen.
Yeah, he was Ellen's DJ, and before that, he did like So You Think You Can Dance or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that dude was fine.
Well, look at people like Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's another one.
I mean, yeah, everybody. You see so many people that are so happy on the outside, but you never truly know what's going on in their life, or what happens when they go home.
Yeah. I mean, Rob reaches out to me all the time. Hey, dude, you okay? Just today when we were driving down to Flagstaff to go to work,
I paused our podcast.
He could see something was bugging me, and was like, "Hey, dude, you good? We good?" And yeah, I showed him a couple of texts that I had gotten, and we talked it out. So
yeah, I talk to Rob almost pretty much every day.
Yeah. I give him all my mental health issues.
Yeah, pretty much since fucking a while.
Yeah. And the only thing I want to add to that, and it goes back, it's actually going to come full circle around to you again, Lowell, is I got a really disturbing call on Monday, and I'm going to keep this person anonymous just because I really care about this person. And it was over a 2-hour conversation with someone who I could tell was highly intoxicated or on drugs, and like just going through emotional stuff that he really thought it was the end of everything. And I was trying to hint like, hey, like I'm going to be there for you, and or we need to get you some sort of professional help, because you're at a point now where you need to get help. And whether that's me staying on the phone with you and talking to you and helping you through this, or me meeting up with you to get lunch this week, I'll come down and see you. And after that phone call, he went silent for about like 12 hours. And then the next morning, I found out that he had admitted himself. He got picked up. He had blacked out, doesn't even remember calling the ambulance, and ended up at one of the hospitals out here. And I told Lowell about it and told him, hey, like my buddy's at this hospital. Like I want to go spend some time with him today and bring Allie over there because I think it would be therapeutic for him. And we went over there and sat for like an hour and a half, maybe like close to 2 hours, and just catching up. And one of the things I told him, and this, goes to our listeners, is like, you did the hardest thing that people go through when, you repeatedly told me that you're all alone and you're in a dark place and you don't know what to do. And he went and got help. And that's the key thing. Like, you have to be willing to like proactively do something, because you're just going to keep slipping further and further down.
Yeah. Yeah. And on this point, that you hadn't talked to that guy in how many years?
Probably like occasionally, like we'd say what's up on like Instagram or Snapchat or something like that. But we hadn't had a detailed conversation in probably like 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
I knew him from Alaska.
Yeah, so I mean, reach out to anybody. Like, even if you think you have no I mean, Rob could have been like, "No, I ain't gonna talk to this guy," but Rob did the right thing and he answered the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that goes for any of our listeners too. They're on the receiving end of that phone call. Like, you get a friend or family member or loved one or someone that you care about on the other end that's saying stuff that you are seriously concerned about. The best advice I can give you is try to help guide that person and or lean on your friends for advice, because as soon as that call was over, pretty sure I either called Amanda or Austin or both of you guys like different
Mhm.
times and kind of explained the situation. I felt bad because it was at the point where I didn't know what he was going to do next.
Right.
But you gotta be willing to sometimes listen to
Just
people.
be an ear for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's most of the time all people want is just someone to listen to them.
Yeah.
And that, like I said before, they don't want to be a burden, but if you just listen, that'll help them. If Rob wouldn't have answered, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah. And no, by no means am I trying to take credit for saving this
Oh,
person, because
no, but I mean, you
I
did
think
the
it's a
right thing. You
helping
answered.
point. Here's Starlink freezing up on us.
Oh no,
Go
you're good.
ahead. What did you say?
Oh no, I said you did the right thing. You answered the phone.
Yeah. And it was really good to see him. And I think it meant the world that like Allie jumped in bed with him and laid down with him for good like hour and a half, and just it was
Because
nice
she
to
could
have a
sense it
dog.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Rob.
Yeah.
She has that sense where she knows somebody's in need of something.
Oh yeah,
And
she could sense it, and that's why she jumped up. She could sense that he needed that.
yeah,
I mean,
I
that's what she's there. That's what dogs do, trained
I,
or
I
not.
think she's even been like that with me the last week or so, or 2 weeks, however long it's been now, since I've been going through this breakup. I think she can see it, and
She
she
tries
can
to come into
sense
your
it.
office every day and give you
Yeah,
kisses and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, dogs are, like I said, we talked about this multiple times. Dogs are amazing creatures. They know what we're going through and know what we need, even if we don't.
yeah.
yeah. Okay. I think unless there's anything else you boys want to talk about, I think we get into ATI and make this
Sex,
a little
drugs,
bit.
and rock and roll.
Okay. Well, what do you want to
How
talk
many
about?
drugs
Been
did you
there,
do in the
done that.
military, Lowell? How many
Been
drugs
there,
did you
done
do in the
that.
military?
Sex and rock and roll.
How many drugs did you do in the military?
Only the ones that were prescribed, or
Oh,
Good
yeah.
answer. Good answer.
oh.
Keep
We
that.
won't talk about before the military though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s.
80s,
80.
70s is a little early.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anything else you want to cover, Rob?
Yeah, I think I got high the first time when I was 13, so that was early 80s.
Barely born. Austin was still floating around in a nutsack.
Wasn't even a thought.
Shit, he wasn't even floating around yet.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Wasn't even a fucking thought.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the only other thing that I want to cover that I need to put out on Instagram is Saver 6 is going to probably shut down here in the next couple of weeks or less. We're going to turn off the website until probably like February or late February, turn it back on, because unfortunately this past year has cost more money to run that company than it even breaking even. And I'm not trying to be greedy, but at the same time, like, I've always liked to have the company at least break even, and we haven't been breaking even for a very long time. Even everything that happened with our September challenge, like, we still were under. And I think it's just a time where people don't really need, they're not buying things that they want, they're buying things that they need more,
Right.
and apparel isn't always needed unless it supports a cause, like the September challenge or the March for Miles that we'll end up doing again. So we're thinking about like turning off the website for a little bit. And if you're listening to this and you do want SOS merch or something like that, and the website is off, just go into our DMs and message here, Save Our Six, our Vigilant, Humble, and we can work out something where we can get something out to you. But for now, we got to like pause the accounts.
Yeah. I mean, the Instagram will still be active and alive.
Yeah, the Instagram will stay up. Both Instagrams will stay up. Fight Like Hell will stay up. The podcast will keep going. You know.
No, I'm done. After this, after the end of the year, I'm done with you.
No, we got to get to 100, and then we can just fucking end this terrible relationship.
Like, fuck you.
I mean, we're on 77.
I know, so close.
I mean,
after
I love Spencer over at Potty Mouth, but we like surpassed them like probably like 10 or 12 episodes ago.
They just stopped altogether.
And yeah, so like it's crazy to like have this deep into it and still going. And we have a couple of guests lined up for the new year. We're excited about next week because we're going to do a year-end wrap-up like we did last year and talk about
You mean I have to see you again this year?
Huh?
You mean I have to see you again this year?
Unfortunately, yes.
Damn it.
But I think it'll be good for our listeners. And those of you who still listen to the podcast, I don't think we say this enough because sometimes we forget because we're talking to our guests. We greatly appreciate it. I just had a big company that follows Allie on Instagram and does like her coats and stuff. I found out that the person, shout out Voyager K9.
Mm-hmm.
I just found out that the girl that runs the Instagram for the mom, her husband was in the military stationed out Fort Lewis. She found out that I have a podcast, and she listened to our most recent episode and she listened to our first episode. So I felt terrible.
I don't know why there's so many people that just go back to the very first episode.
Like, that's the worst episode.
Yeah, it's the worst episode. Like, it's our first episode.
I know, but
until
I think
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our second worst is when we had a Lowell on.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Second worst, definitely Lowell. No,
and Rob gets fired tomorrow. No.
And we're gonna have to start podcasting for money.
No, he's off tomorrow, so I have to wait until Tuesday to fire him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, after Christmas.
Or are you taking Tuesday off?
I'm gonna take Tuesday off because I want to work on the Starlink project.
So you do work tomorrow, Rob.
I might not show up on time,
he'll take tomorrow and Tuesday off.
I mean, I'll take them all off. If you want me off, I'm off. Let it be. I'm teleworking.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we get into ATI and then we wrap this up kind of like a present right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. For those of you who are family or friends with Lowell, or maybe his parents.
If you don't want to hear fucked up things.
Or my daughter.
Or your daughter.
Yeah. If you don't want to hear super fucked up things.
This is the part where you turn off the podcast. I'm sorry if I offended anyone before then.
Because I think my daughter listens every once in a while.
She probably will listen to this episode. If you are listening, do not continue to listen. And thank you for Allie's booties. So, all right. ATI is Answer the Internet. It's would you rather questions, and sometimes they can get fucked up. I have not pre-looked at any of these, even though they're on my screen. So I guess we'll just get into them. You want to go first?
Yeah. Would you rather pee a ping pong ball or poop a bowling ball?
Both are
that's
both are gonna suck.
Both are gonna hurt like. Yeah, but I think I'm pissing a ping pong ball. It has a little more. I think it would have a little more give to it, and hopefully it kind of squish up as you're trying to piss it out. Although I have had a kidney stone.
Oh yeah, kidney stones fucking are terrible.
Fucking sucked. That
It'd be
really
like a
fucking
kidney
sucked.
stone times 10.
Yeah. So yeah, when I went to the emergency room for my kidney stone, the doc said, "Now you know what it's like to give birth."
Yeah, you just gotta wait, and there's nothing they can do for him. You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah, I had that, I don't know, like 6 years ago, something like that, and it was excruciating. And then last year I had them again like 3 days in a row,
Oh, that
and I
sucks.
didn't even go to the doctor. I just stayed at home and toughed
Yeah,
it
I mean,
out.
there's nothing they can do for him.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're
but
picking ping pong
yeah,
ball.
so I think I'm taking the ping pong ball because bowling ball has no give to it.
No, that's solid.
And it's just really fucking heavy. That I wouldn't want that in my freaking body in the first place.
That'll
Might be
shatter
easier
the
coming
toilet,
out.
and then you're gonna get shit water all over you too. Yeah, I'm going ping pong ball.
Yeah, I think ping pong ball. I think it's just gonna hurt like a bitch no matter what.
Okay. Next
Okay.
one. Would
What's
you
next one, Rob?
rather have very loud sex or totally silent sex? Lol.
So I've actually been through both scenarios, and I don't know. It really depends on the partner that you're with.
Okay, so this new partner that you're trying to get with,
Well, I don't know because I haven't had sex with this new partner. So,
but it's just like
they're
pick one. You got to pick one.
well.
Do you
I
want it to
get
be
that.
loud or quiet?
Dude, I'm weighing options here.
It's okay.
Um,
He's like, I'm just happy to be this old and still having sex.
the truth. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go the loud sex. Yeah, why not? That way you know you're doing something right.
Okay.
What about you? What about you, Rob?
No, I asked the question. You go first. Who
Oh,
you go, Mr.
I'm
Jessica?
going loud 100%. Fucking silence like this is boring.
Okay.
That's how I see it, man. When you're having loud sex, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
That is actually a true statement because like I was thinking like silent is way too quiet. Like I don't necessarily want loud, crazy sex, but at the same time, you know
Yeah.
that
Well, if
you're
you and
hitting
Amanda are having sex and it's
like
complete silence,
you're
Rob,
doing
that's just gonna
something
be
correctly,
boring. Yeah.
or they're an actress.
Yeah, an actress. Maybe they're a
Hey,
porn star and they're good at being
if
silent.
you want to be an actress with me and make great sounds,
Slide into his DMs.
Hey, by all
Hey.
means, do it.
Yeah.
He's a sugar daddy. He makes
Hey,
good money.
90% of the time we don't know if it's real or fake noises, anyways.
Yeah.
This is true. They could just want you to get off them.
I mean, we don't care either way.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda, you gotta be loud this one time.
Gotta make the neighbors know Rob's name.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Okay. Would you rather have sex in front of your parents or have to watch your parents have sex?
I feel like you asked this question last weekend.
I don't think I'm looking at the questions right now. No, I didn't.
Would you rather
See your other? Yeah, it was different.
Oh, okay. You're right. Carry
It
on.
was different. Okay.
Am I first again?
Yes,
You're always first. The guest is always first.
Okay, cool. What's crazy is I've been in both of these scenarios too, unfortunately. After I got married very young, lived in my parents' house, and I was walked in on by my mom while I was having relations.
Having relations.
Yeah. And I have walked in on my parents having relations.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about like sitting and watching through the whole thing.
Oh, I get that, and I'm mulling over both of them in my head, which one was worse. And I think sex in front of the parents. I think I'm gonna have to choose that one because
I think that's a better option.
Because I think they'll turn their heads.
Yeah.
Cover their
They don't
eyes.
have to watch.
Because yeah, they don't have to watch. In this scenario, I have to watch them.
Yeah. What are you picking, Rob?
I'm gonna go sex in front of my parents. Gonna make my dad proud.
I'm gonna put this shit on Instagram.
No, it'd have to go on Twitter.
Right.
It'd get blocked on Instagram.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go in front of my parents. I don't want to have to watch my parents. That just doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
Can't.
Okay,
Your mom's not with us.
Okay, what's the last one, Rob?
I'm too far away to read
It
it.
says, okay, would you rather wear the same underwear for a month or the same socks?
Oh. Crotch rot or
Athlete's
or
foot.
foot rot.
I already know my answer.
You can only flip your underwear around so many times before.
You can't flip your socks at all, really.
Well, you can.
You can flip them once, technically.
Carry on.
Oh man. Oh no, I think I'm gonna go same socks. Because I've almost done that. I think, and being out in the field, been pretty close to. You only have so many pairs of socks with you, so.
Okay, what about you, Rob?
And in the field, you can always go commando. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely doing underwear.
Really?
Yeah, because
why?
I have a weird thing about like my feet and stuff, and I don't want them to like smell bad. And
Dude, so you want your dick to smell bad?
You'd rather have swamp ass and
yeah.
Oh, just change it around,
I guess you're not having sex with Amanda for that month.
I mean, I'm assuming I'm like in a desert or something, like and far away from her. I wouldn't want her to have sex with me at that point.
And then you're gonna have that freaking just that crotch rot and that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time. I'm going with socks.
But what if you get trench foot and you can't walk?
Then you just sit down and freaking hang out.
Then you get it. Then you just get it amputated, and then you become 10 times cooler.
What are you doing?
Same socks all the way.
Okay.
There's no way I'm going the same underwear for a month.
I could do it.
No. Ain't nobody being around you.
Yeah. Well, the socks are going to be bad too.
Not nearly as bad as.
Cover up the socks with shoes or boots or.
Cover up the underwear with pants.
Yeah, but you still.
Yeah.
It's just right there. It's so much closer to your nose.
Yeah. And everybody else's nose.
I'm sticking with what I got.
You know what, Rob? You have to do both.
Well, apparently Allie's telling me we are done with the podcast because she is whining now.
It's been almost 2 hours.
Yeah. That went pretty good. I didn't think we were going to make it past 28 minutes because like Allie was going crazy at the beginning.
Yeah, she was freaking out at first.
If you bared with us this long, thank you very much. Please share this podcast. Please like this podcast. Please follow this podcast. Give a gift to someone's ears, or it could sound like scratching a chalkboard to someone else.
That is not where I thought you were going with that. But okay.
What are you, like the gift that keeps on giving? You think I was going to say?
I was just thinking give. My first thought was give a gift to someone's mouth, but
Okay. Yours went somewhere else, but
yeah,
but definitely please share the podcast. Please like the podcast. Next week we're gonna go over some algorithm stuff too and talk about
how much of a terrible co-host Rob is.
That. And if there's any like year-end wrap-up questions that you got for us, hit us up. Or if you're trying to
we'll do a question thing on Instagram.
Yeah, let's put up a bunch of polls and then we'll get the answers for those or see if we can get some questions answered.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing that sometime in between Christmas and or New Year's Eve. I can't remember when it is.
That week. We have a whole week.
Yeah, I guess Saturday is the 31st.
Sunday's Christmas.
It is.
No, Saturday.
I thought Sunday was Christmas.
The 31st. He's talking
21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Christmas.
New Year's Eve.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone listening. Lowell, thank you for being our guest.
No, thanks for
Yeah,
having
thanks
me
for
on.
coming on.
Yeah. Hopefully I keep my job. And,
You're safe.
For now.
Lowell, stick around. We got to take a picture of that.
Oh,
Right, yeah, because he's gonna go somewhere.
I just hang up the thing.
well, I could go to my turbulent house.
Yeah.
He's just
All
gonna
right.
he's
We
gonna
love you
disappear.
guys. Peace.